By the time this video ends, another group of older adults somewhere in the world will quietly receive news that changes everything about how they see their future. A diagnosis related to memory loss, confusion, or early dementia. It happens constantly, often without warning, and to most people believe it is simply the cost of growing older. But what if that belief is wrong? What if the real trigger is not age at all, but something sitting on a shelf in your kitchen or bathroom? Something you were told was safe for teen and even necessary for your health. Welcome to Thrive and Shine, a channel dedicated to helping you build true inner strength and natural outer glow. Here we focus on simple exercises, healthy daily habits, and trusted natural remedies that support your body from the inside out. No shortcuts, no extremes, just gentle healing, growing confidence, and lasting wellness. If you want to feel energized, age gracefully, and shine from within every day, you're in the right place. Subscribe to Thrive and Shine, and let's grow healthier and brighter together. For decades, seniors have trusted their prescriptions and over-the-counter medications without question. They assume that if a doctor prescribed it or a pharmacy sold it without restriction, then it must be harmless. Yet a growing body of research is revealing a disturbing truth. Many of the most commonly used medications by older adults are silently damaging the brain, accelerating memory loss, and increasing the risk of dementia at a shocking rate. Even more unsettling is the fact that most people taking these drugs have no idea what is happening inside their brain while they use them every day. Recent research has shown that nearly every senior takes at least one medication that interferes with the chemicals responsible for memory, focus, and learning. Some of these drugs can reduce activity in critical brain regions tied to memory formation. In a matter of months, others slowly starve the brain of nutrients it needs to stay sharp. And when several of these medications are taken together, their effects multiply, creating a perfect storm for rapid cognitive decline. This is not a conspiracy theory or online rumor. These findings come from respected medical journals, long-term population studies, and neurological research conducted around the world. The most alarming part is that many of these risks have been known within parts of the medical community for years, yet the medications continue to be prescribed in massive numbers because they treat symptoms quickly, even if the long-term cost is severe. Today, you are going to hear about the medications that pose the greatest threat to memory and mental clarity as people age. These are not rare drugs reserved for extreme conditions. They are everyday pills used for sleep, allergies, digestion, anxiety, bladder issues, cholesterol, pain, and mood. Some are available without a prescription. Others are handed out routinely during short doctor visits, with little discussion of long-term effects on the brain. As you listen, you may recognize medications you or someone you love takes daily. That recognition can be uncomfortable, even frightening. But awareness is the first step toward protection. Many cases of medication-related cognitive decline are not permanent. When the cause is identified and addressed, the brain often has an incredible ability to recover clarity and function. The key is knowing what to look for and when to ask questions. One of the most overlooked contributors to memory loss in older adults is a class of medications commonly used for sleep and allergies. These drugs are often marketed as gentle solutions for restless night, seasonal sniffles, or cold symptoms. They are inexpensive, explains why so many seniors rely on them regularly. Yet inside the brain, these medications interfere with a chemical called acetylcholine, which plays a central role in forming new memories, maintaining attention, and keeping the mind alert. As the brain ages, it becomes more dependent on acetylcholine to compensate for natural changes in neural efficiency. When a medication blocks this chemical, the brain struggles to encode new information and retrieve existing memories. Over time, this disruption can lead to noticeable forgetfulness, confusion, and mental fog that many people mistakenly attribute to aging itself. Large-scale studies have found that older adults who use these medications frequently have a significantly higher risk of developing dementia compared to those who avoid them. The risk increases with duration of use and becomes even greater when combined with other drugs that affect the same brain pathways. What makes this especially dangerous is that these medications are often taken at night, when the brain is supposed to rest, repair, and consolidate memories. Instead, the very process of memory formation is being sabotaged during sleep. Another major contributor to cognitive decline hides in medications prescribed for digestive issues, such as heartburn and acid reflux. These drugs reduce stomach acid, which can provide relief from uncomfortable symptoms. However, stomach acid is essential for absorbing certain vitamins and minerals that the brain depends on to function properly. When acid levels are suppressed for long periods, the body struggles to absorb nutrients like vitamin B12, magnesium, and calcium. Vitamin B12 in particular is critical for nerve health and cognitive function. Deficiency can cause symptoms that closely resemble dementia, including memory loss, confusion, mood changes, and difficulty concentrating. When seniors take acid-reducing medications for years without monitoring nutrient levels, they may slowly slip into deficiency without realizing it. The resulting cognitive symptoms are often misdiagnosed as normal aging or early Alzheimer's disease. Research has also shown that these digestive medications may increase the accumulation of toxic proteins in the brain that are associated with neurodegenerative conditions. This combination of nutrient depletion and protein buildup creates an environment where brain cells struggle to communicate effectively, leading to progressive decline in mental sharpness. Medications used for bladder control present another hidden risk. These drugs are often prescribed to help manage urgency and incontinence issues that can significantly impact quality of life. However, many of them work by blocking the same neurotransmitter that supports memory and learning. Unlike some milder medications, these bladder drugs easily enter the brain and directly affect memory centers. Older adults taking these medications frequently report subtle changes at first, such as trouble recalling names, forgetting appointments, or feeling mentally slower. Over time, these changes can worsen, leading to significant impairment, with a dramatically increased risk of dementia, particularly when taken for more than a year. What makes this especially troubling is that patients are rarely warned about these cognitive side effects. The focus remains on bladder control, while mental changes are dismissed. As part of getting older, in many cases, safer alternatives exist that manage symptoms without interfering with brain chemistry, but they are not always offered unless patients ask. Cholesterol-lowering medications are another category that deserves careful attention. These drugs have saved countless lives by reducing the risk of heart attacks and strokes. However, cholesterol is not the enemy many believe it to be, especially when it comes to brain health. The brain is composed largely of fat, and cholesterol is a key component of the protective coating around nerve fibers that allows electrical signals to travel efficiently. When cholesterol levels are lowered too aggressively, especially in older adults, the brain may struggle to maintain these protective structures. Some individuals experience memory lapses, confusion, or difficulty finding words after starting certain cholesterol medications. While not everyone is affected, the risk appears to increase with higher doses, longer duration, and specific types of drugs that easily cross into the brain. Research suggests that some cholesterol medications have a greater impact on cognition than others. This means that for seniors experiencing mental changes, it may be possible to adjust treatment rather than abandon cardiovascular protection altogether. The important step is recognizing the connection between medication and cognitive symptoms early, before changes become severe. Medications prescribed for anxiety and sleep problems represent one of the most significant threats to long-term brain health when used chronically. These drugs are highly effective at calming the nervous system, reducing anxiety, and promoting sleep in the short term. Unfortunately, their calming effect comes from suppressing overall brain activity, including the processes involved in learning, memory, and emotional responsiveness. With continued use, the brain adapts to their presence, becoming less responsive on its own. This can lead to dependence, tolerance, and withdrawal symptoms when the medication is reduced. Over time, many users report feeling mentally dulled, disconnected, or unable to think clearly. Large studies have linked long-term use of these medications in older adults to a substantially increased risk of developing dementia. The danger is compounded by the fact that stopping these drugs abruptly can be harmful, making users feel trapped. However, with careful medical supervision, gradual tapering, and alternative therapies, many people can reduce or eliminate use while regaining mental clarity and emotional balance. Older antidepressant medications, still used for pain, sleep, and mood, also carry significant cognitive risks. These drugs strongly block neurotransmitters essential for memory and attention. Even at low doses taken over long periods, they can quietly erode mental function. Because the decline happens gradually, it is often unnoticed until it becomes severe. Studies following older adults for many years have shown a clear link between cumulative exposure to these medications and increased dementia risk. The longer they are used, the greater the impact on the brain. Newer alternatives often provide similar benefits with far less cognitive burden, but many patients remain on older drugs simply because they were prescribed years ago and never reassessed. Some newer antidepressants are generally safer, but even within this group there are important differences. One commonly prescribed medication stands out for its ability to interfere with memory-related neurotransmitters despite being classified as modern. Older adults taking this drug have been shown to experience measurable declines in attention and recall within a relatively short time. Professional guidelines now advise against its use in seniors when safer options are available, yet it continues to be prescribed frequently. For individuals experiencing memory changes while taking antidepressants, a medication review can make a meaningful difference in preserving cognitive health. One of the most alarming trends in senior care is the widespread use of powerful psychiatric medications for issues such as sleep agitation or behavioral changes. These drugs were originally designed for severe mental illness, but are now often used in older adults for convenience rather than necessity. Their effect on the brain can be profound, suppressing key neurotransmitters that support motivation, personality, and executive function. Research has shown that older adults given these medications are at significantly higher risk of rapid cognitive decline, stroke, and even early death. Family members often notice that their loved one becomes emotionally flat, withdrawn, or unresponsive. The person they knew seems to fade away while still physically present. In many cases, these medications are prescribed without fully exploring non-drug approaches that could address the underlying issue. Pain, discomfort, environmental stress, poor sleep, and sensory overload can all contribute to agitation and confusion. Addressing these factors can reduce symptoms without exposing the brain to unnecessary chemical suppression. Perhaps the greatest danger of all lies not in any single medication, but in the combined effect of taking many drugs that share similar harmful properties. This situation is extremely common among older adults who often see multiple doctors and take prescriptions along with over-the-counter remedies. Each medication may seem harmless on its own, but together they can overwhelm the brain. When several drugs block the same neurotransmitter or deplete the same nutrients, the cumulative burden can be devastating. Large population studies have shown that seniors with the highest combined exposure to these medications face more than double the risk of developing dementia compared to those with low exposure. The brain simply cannot compensate when multiple pathways are disrupted simultaneously. The tragedy is that many people have no idea this is happening. They trust their treatment plan, assuming each medication is necessary and independent. Without a comprehensive review, no one connects the dots. Memory loss is blamed on age rather than the chemical environment created by the medication combination. The most hopeful message in all of this is that medication-related cognitive decline is often reversible when harmful drugs are reduced, replaced, or eliminated under medical guidance. Many seniors experience significant improvement. Mental clarity, energy, and memory can return sometimes within weeks or months. The brain has a remarkable capacity to heal when the burden is lifted. Taking action starts with awareness. Reviewing all medications, including over-the-counter products, with a knowledgeable healthcare professional is essential. Asking whether each drug is still necessary, whether safer alternatives exist, and whether the Combination poses cognitive risks can protect the brain for years to come. If this information resonates with you or reminds you of changes you have noticed in yourself or someone you love, it is worth having that conversation. Memory is more than recall. It is identity, independence, and connection. Protecting it means questioning assumptions and staying informed. What you take every day matters. The choices made now can shape how clearly you think, feel, and remember in the years ahead. Remember, real change comes from small, healthy choices repeated every day. If today's video helped even a little, imagine what staying connected can do over time. Subscribe to Thrive and Shine for simple exercises, healthy habits, and natural remedies to support your inner and outer glow. If you found value here, like and share this video with someone who could benefit. Thanks for being part of our community. Keep caring for yourself, keep moving forward, and keep shining.